If any of you guys have seen a video on YouTube about how to get rich in Grow Garden, you've probably heard of the sprinkler method or the sprinkler glitch. Today, we will be running several experiments to try and figure out what actually works and what doesn't, because you hear a lot of contrasting answers surrounding the glitch. You hear people telling to use this many sprinklers versus this many sprinklers. So today we are going to be testing that out. What exactly is the sprinkler method, you might be asking, if you haven't heard of it or if you haven't seen it yet. Pretty much, you stack a bunch of sprinklers on top of a plant, and then that plant gets extra big when you log back in later after being offline for a while. So you might be asking, why do we need to test this? Here's why. There's a lot of TikToks and YouTube shorts that give you contrasting things, saying you need to use 10 basic sprinklers, or you need to use 3 godlies and different things. But a lot of my friends who are pro players with multiple trillions to their name, they only say you need to use 1. And we're going to be testing all of that to see if even the sprinkler method is an actual thing. So let me break down exactly what needs to happen for you. So when designing this experiment, we have to take into our consideration our hypotheses. Our hypotheses, which is our educated guess, is that the sprinkler method only works that one way. So pretty much we have to design an experiment which proves our hypotheses and also shows just how effective it really is. And those are our 2 goals. So let's get started on setting up, but we're going to go ahead and hop over to my alt account to do it because I don't have any space at all on my main. Alright, so we're over on my alt account. I have more space here, but I'm going to have to clear out a side. I think I'm just going to harvest all this bamboo and move everything just over here. It's going to crowd this set a little, but I really don't care. There's my main over there. So let's just go ahead and kind of do that. And with the power of editing, it's cleared out. So you may notice that I have a godly splinker running over here on my moon melons. This is a plant we're going to be using. I'm just trying to get them all the way grown out for later so we can start it. We can actually do it for full. So the game plan is we're going to have 4 groups. One that doesn't have any sprinklers on it, one that has just a master, one with one of sprinklers, and then one with the top method video on YouTube, which I'll probably show you guys later to get the sprinkler count going. So I've taken a screenshot and I'm basically going to break down to you what I'm going to do. So we're going to have a group of moon melons up here. That's not going to be touched by the sprinklers. Group of moon melons in here, which are going to be just our normal master. Over here we're going to do the 1-in-1, so our godly is going to come around here, something like that. And then the other one over here with all of our extra ones. That's pretty much it. So now all I needed to do was figure out what the top method is, so I went to YouTube, looked up sprinkler method, then I just went to the top view count one. We're just going to go ahead and count how many sprinklers they want us to use.
Next, surround them with 3 basic sprinklers, 3 advanced sprinklers, 1 godly sprinkler, and 1 master sprinkler. Then exit the game.
Alright, now we know how many things we need to place. Let's go ahead and get it all set up. Alright, we're all set up. I got my sprinklers here. Let's go ahead and get placing on the sprinklers, and then we're going to harvest everything and then leave the game. Okay, so this will be our 1 pile. Make sure we get that nice and close in there. So, and then this will be our best glitch 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure they're not touching anything else. This is just our normal moon melon one. And this is just our control. Let's just go ahead and harvest all of it. Alright, we got everything harvested. Now I am going to go ahead and log off for a night, and then we'll check back tomorrow morning. Alright, so it's the next morning, and I just logged into Grow Garden. I haven't hopped into my alt yet. Let's just go ahead and do that right now. Alright, let's just go ahead and join my main. We're joining my main right now. We're going to see how it is. See, there's my main account. Okay, let's see how the progress went. and then we're just going to kind of average up all the fruits that are there. Alright. Nice. Okay. So, right away, there's some good visual differences. We're going to have to sort these out a little bit better to separate them. So, I think I put three plants each in the 2 sprinkler groups, and 2 here and 2 here. Let's just go ahead and average out our control one first, since that one's separate. Okay, I just harvested all of them. Let's pull up a calculator. Later, right here, so 9.83, 7.66 plus 10.07 plus 10.62 plus 8.33 plus 5.76 gives us 68.7. Then we divide this by, there's 8 here. Okay, so we're averaging 8.58 kilograms on our control one. Let's just go ahead and sell these really quick. Oops, I have no clue what I had that was worth that much. Okay, so, and then we're just going to go ahead and just trowel the next couple away. Okay, there's one. Where's the second plant? Okay, this one going this way. Okay. These are big sprinkler ones. Okay, can we just take these and move these? Let's just throw them over here somewhere. Just for now. Just to start sorting through it a little bit. Huh. It appears they didn't work on one. That's actually weird. Okay, we'll count that as an outlier. We'll just slap that one over here. It's actually very interesting. Okay, and then there's our last sprinkler, or last sprinkler method one. Okay, which means, okay, so this one would be just a master sprinkler one. We can get it. We're gonna move this one over this way a little bit. Oh, it's not that one. Okay, we just made it worse. Okay, and then another one in here. Okay, and now we can get this one. Go put it with our other default master sprinkler one. We can move this one back. Alright, now we're going to average these. Alright, that's all 8 of them. Our average is on screen now. Oh, we just harvested that one. Okay. So we're just going to take these and throw them on our inventory then. Alright, this is going to be our sprinkler method ones. And we're just going to go ahead and calculate it. And we're going to ignore that outlier bunch that we had, because that's quite weird that it didn't work. I guess it must have just barely been outside or something. Okay, so we have all these moon melons, and we have a couple extra in our inventory, because no, we don't have a couple extra in our inventory. I'm being dumb. Okay, yeah, because we only had 8, because we had 2 groups. Okay, let's just go ahead and add all these up really quick and find the average. Alright, here's our average for that group on screen. I just finished calculating it. Let's go ahead and sell, because this next one has some extra one. That's surprisingly big. But it's also not, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of to be expected. Okay, and then we're going to pull up our last bunch here. Go ahead and harvest these. This one also had the most variance, which is kind of odd. I mean, they all look to be about relatively the same size as the last group, so I'm going to say, and we're just going to go ahead and average these all up really quick too. Alright, here's our average for the 1-in-1 sprinkler glitch, or method on screen. Here's a quick summary of our data. Now, what does this all mean? So, we can draw a couple conclusions from this testing, mostly that having multiple sprinklers doesn't actually affect it. And, based on the numbers, we could say that it was, it actually was worse to have multiple sprinklers on it. But I'm going to say that's not actually true because we were missing one average, like the extra factor right here that would probably average it out to be about the same because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I have more cool content coming this way, so maybe put your notifications on.